And welcome back to Two Wheels. So, if you've been living under a rock, the Italian Grand Prix is here. Marc Marquez is back. But the other big bit of news, Carl Crutchlow. Yes, that is a name from the past, isn't it? The multiple GP winner from the UK, from Great Britain, is back on a Honda with his old team, confirmed only for the Italian Grand Prix round. And we're going to get into the truth about his comeback and the struggles he's had. He's been quite open about it for the practice session as well. And, well, at the moment, it's just for one round. Is he going to come back full time? He's going to also answer that for us as well. This is the interview he did with Moto GP, which I think is quite interesting and telling.
Lucio and the guys from the team were contacting me, asking me, saying that they wanted me to come back and ride. So, yeah, it was I initially said no.
He initially said no. And I think the reasons why, he's like retired, he didn't want to go back. Bear in mind, this guy is, when you're not constantly testing, you're not constantly riding, you're not going to be kind of match fit or rider fit, which we'll get into. He's not exactly as fit as the other guys, but it's quite interesting as to the mechanics of how he ended up coming back and how he was convinced.
Because I haven't been on the bike in a long, long time.
No.
And I went home and my wife had said, did Daco call you? And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, they called me first to ask if it...
So they called the wife first, saying, please can Crutchlow come out to play?
if basically permission. And she said, why are you not doing it? You know? So
yeah.
I also thought about it and thought, why am I not doing it?
Absolutely.
There is many reasons why I'm not doing it, but... yeah, now I've said yes. I'm fully committed. You know, I spent 7 years of my life with this team, and I have so many good memories. All the mechanics are the same mechanics that I had when I was there.
I mean, it's absolutely fantastic that he's come back to his old team. That is absolutely brilliant. Now, he's been quite open and honest about the bike. He said the bike is better than me. That's his disclosure / honest opinion on, since practice. Yes, he was slowest. He says a lack of physical strength is his number one limitation on his comeback. As we know, he's stepping in to replace the injured rider Johnny Zarco. And Pirro, who's taken the place of Alex Marquez at the Gresini Ducati, is a regular on-board MotoGP. He's regular on board that MotoGP bike thanks to his Ducati testing role, which is something, remember, that Crutchlow doesn't really do. And the 40-year-old, he's 40, he stayed out of trouble on Friday at Mugello, but told media at the end of the day that it was a lack of strength that was the main thing. He was honest, and he said, I feel okay riding honestly. And he said, physically, though, I just lost the power at the end of the session. He's talking about if he rides at a certain pace, he's going to be fine. But if he tries to push, he hasn't got it. Now, he's not saying he hasn't got it anymore. He's talking about the strength. And he said, but I've come from riding my bicycle to trying to ride a Moto GP around Mugello. He's saying these changes of directions are really difficult because they're on throttle. He said, that's my thing. If I change direction and you're off throttle, I'm fine. But physically, I'm just not in the shape I used to be. He got the call up. I guess you would have wanted like a 3-4 week break to go to the gym, but it's not quite the case. And he says, I feel quite good on the bike. He says he's got a good feeling, good feedback, and he understands the bike straight away, which is the main thing. So he's confident. And he said the Honda's a great bike. I think they've made massive steps since last year and the year before, but the bike's definitely better than me. He says it will come, with more riding and stuff like that. But the article says, quite rightly, how much more riding can we expect from Carl Crutchlow, whether or not he is going to turn up for more than one round? He said, people seem to think that I'm trying to come back to racing full time. He says, that is not happening, not in any championship, but in the, in MotoGP, nothing. I'm not trying to do this because I want to come back full time. This is short. And someone here, what is it, German X33 on Twitter, I thought this is translated. I thought said something very, very telling, because a lot of criticism potentially has been, this guy's really slow, he's off the pace, and they put what a pilot Carl Crutchlow is. 2 years without getting on a bike, and he reappears at the Italian Grand Prix with a time of 1:49.913. That's 3.6 seconds off the leader, under 2 seconds off a 3-time Superbike champion top rank. It's unbelievable. Another great success, yeah. And I completely agree. I don't really think we've given him enough credit for that. Also, on Reddit, people saying, love Cal, how many of the, but they're saying all these other Honda drivers are injured. which is not particularly great. But yeah, cars choices maybe more LCR than Honda. Someone's put, don't you think? I'd really love to see them use Moto2 riders. Yeah, maybe, but they, it's a difficult one. But anyway, Carl Crutchlow is back. Thanks to his wife. Thank you, Mrs. Crutchlow. If you did, though, make it to the end, consider giving us a subscribe. It will be absolutely amazing. And if you did make it to the end, we're not worthy. Thank you very much. And we will no doubt speak to you soon. See you later.